'Cause why'd you slow that again? Don't wanna talk too far. They wanna know where you are. You wanna do it again. Blood in the air, I don't wanna see where you fell. I wanna lose it again. I think I'll lose it again. I'm just a heartbreaker. You're too easy, too easy, too easy for me. I hurt you, but you need me, you need me, you need to go away. I know you should again. I don't wanna waste my time on boys like you again. 'Cause why'd you slow that again? Don't wanna talk too far. They wanna know where you are. You wanna do it again.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to the first day. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. I haven't vlogged in a minute. Happy first vlog of the year. I just went in on like a little journaling sesh, kind of just like documenting my New Year's resolution goals. I had a like list on my notes, and I just really wanted to kind of like reflect and just like go in on them, because today's actually Sunday, so it's actually the second day of the year. I like to start my first day of the year like this, but it started on a Saturday, so I just had like a very chill Saturday, and now that it's a Sunday, I feel like I can like actually sit down and kind of just like mentally be in a headspace to like actually do this the proper way, not just because I like it's the first day of the year. I like wanted to sit down and actually like genuinely like go through all of this stuff, because I feel like I have like a lot of things that I want to work on this year, and it's not like resolutions that are like checking points. I've really kind of like been more lenient with my intentions of the year as I get older. So I thought it would be fun to share with you guys my New Year's resolutions. I broke it down from internal stuff and then like external stuff. My internal like main goal is my appearance and the way I appear to myself, not a physical appearance, clearly, because it's internal. I feel like I really want to work on like my confidence and the way that I look at myself and feel about myself, because that's something that I've realized towards the end of the year that I'm not like where I would want to be mentally. And I think a lot of the things in my past have really paved me like a really kind of like negative self-image, or like I'm just in my head a lot, and it's just like I can feel, you know, something a little off, and I really want to like really work on that. I wrote a list of things that I want to leave in the past. The first one is limiting beliefs about myself. There's a quote that I found that said, "If you think you can or you can't, you are right." I doubt myself a lot. I'm like, I don't know where it stems from, because I have so much goodness in me, and I know I have like really good traits, and I have a lot to bring to the table, and I know that people like look up to me in a way, so I don't know why I'm not feeling the same way and why I doubt myself so much. If I find myself creating these limiting beliefs, I'm going to first of all be more aware of these things and knock them out, because it can easily just spiral into just like horrible negative self-talk, and it's just gonna like halt me from my greatest potential, and that's just something I don't want to do to myself. Also, staying in my comfort zone. I have really learned to get out of my comfort zone this past year, and I've been seeing nothing but great things from it in terms of my confidence and happiness. If you have that urge to do something and your gut's like no, and you get scared a little bit, that's like the sign to be like, okay, let's do it. Ask yourself, if I do this after, am I going to feel expanded or contracted? If it's expanded, you really need to push through those self-doubts and limiting beliefs and like that fear, because that's going to make you grow so much. There's like a graph I'll pop right here that I saw a long time ago, where it's like the more you get out of your comfort zone, the more like your comfort zone will expand. Another thing I want to leave is perfectionism. I actually have been really good at this, and it's just like slowly but surely happening. I'm not so like strict. If you go back to like my older videos, you can see I was very like I am still very type A. I like to be perfect. I like things laid out perfectly, but that creates so much like overwhelming stress and like boundaries around my life and expectations that are not always met, which again can mess with your head if you're not careful, because if you have these like super high expectations for yourself and then you just can't attain them realistically, and life happens, like there's things that happen throughout your life that will affect these, and you might not always accomplish them, and it's just like a very like controlling way of living that I just feel more relief when I'm a little bit more simplistic and lenient with my goals. And I just put on here, enjoy life's moments, because sometimes like life happens, and you know, if you're so rigid and strict with your life and yourself, you're gonna miss out on like just the ease and simplicity and like chaotic part of life that I think is so important. I also said overthinking. I realized my mom tells me and my brother, we just think so much. We just worry and we think, and again, it's like it spirals. Once you have these like worries and these thoughts and you believe them, they're gonna spiral into this whole entire narrative in your head, and it's just gonna like create such a negative aura in your day, and it has. And I think it's such a waste of time, and it's so easier said than done. I googled like ways that you can stop overthinking, and one of them was like just to work out. Like if you just are so exhausted, when you like put that energy into something else, you won't have really an option to overthink. And I've been really like back into running, and I think that helped me get through Vlogmas. Like I was super anxious during Vlogmas. I had a lot going on in terms of my health and like my actual personal life, and Vlogmas itself was insane. And every time I ran, I just felt like my heart like kind of like easing down. Like I would get like overwhelmed and my heart would be beating, and I would just kind of like think a lot. And then once I ran, it's like I took control over my heart feelings and my anxiety, and I made the stress and overwhelm for my heart myself. Like I took control back over how I'm feeling, and the reason I'm making my heart race is because I made it race. It's not like my anxiety that's creating it. And then by the time I ran, I was able to think more clearly. My headspace was way better. I felt better, and I was a little bit more exhausted, that to the point where my anxiety didn't really have as much control over me as it did before I ran. And so I also like put on here, focus on my goals too. So like when I'm working and stuff like that, I really get into like a very flow state of mind, and I just don't have time to really overthink. And then I also put the fear of not being good enough. That is really a scary thing. I think that it kind of correlates with like the internal dialogue that I have with myself. And so something here that I put, to stop the fear of being not good enough, you should have like certain characteristics that you like about yourself, like on your notes or list or something like that, so you can look back and see like all the things that make you a good person, or things that you're really proud of about yourself, and that will like really kind of switch it. So I kind of like little journaled out my things that I feel like are good about me, like my personality traits. If you're gonna find like a list of things that you want to leave in the new year, I highly recommend that you also make a point to like reflect on what's the opposite, like what can you do, because you don't want to just focus on the negatives. You want to take those negatives and kind of create them into like a more positive spin and focus on the positive, which is what I did. And then I wrote down here things that kind of go along with that I can do, like to actually place into action. It's internal dialogue is like number one. The way I talk to myself, I need to like talk to myself better and be more positive. I said mentors and like acting as if there's somebody that you are influenced by and you like the way that they hold themselves or the way that they do certain things, you can always have them in the back of your mind and go into situations literally kind of acting like them. And I used to talk about this a lot when I did law of attraction videos, and it actually really works. I used to do it in high school without even knowing like it was acting as if. But if you act like something, like for example, if you want to be confident and there's a person that just kind of radiates that confidence, you go into a situation thinking, I'm going to be like that person. And it could feel kind of fraudy, it could feel kind of weird, but the more that you act like it, the more it's going to become your reality, because you're meeting people at that level and you're mentally like making an intention to be that certain trait or whatever. I read a quote too. It's like, you can't just become confident. You have to like practice. It's like you have to be confident to gain confidence. Does that make sense? And then I put in here confidence in the way that I walk into a room. I want to walk into a room feeling good. I want to focus on like my posture, my presence. I want to like give people my most positive, authentic self. I just want to be like more self-assured. And I feel like when I do all these things, I'm gonna present that in a way, and that's part of the acting as if. I'm gonna do my damn thing, be confident, because you know, you have to remember who you are, who you're representing, the people in your life, like all of your past experiences. You just need to like really be proud of yourself. You know, that's just something I really am excited to kind of like work on. And then my authenticity. So I struggle a lot, I think, with social media because I'm in social media and I don't really connect with the kind of like influencers that I think are online right now. I am so over like the curated feeds. I want to go back to kind of just like posting more memories rather than like poses and not focusing so much on what I should be doing. Sometimes I get into that little world, like I'll like spin a little bit and I'll start looking at my Instagram and thinking, oh, I'm not like the typical influencer, and the posts that I'm posting are not what I'm supposed to be posting, but it's again my Instagram, and I don't want to create stress and overwhelm with that. I kind of want it to be like back on like Facebook memories. Like if you remember, like people just posted memories of pictures. It wasn't like so crafted. It was more organic, you know? And I just want to focus more on that and not so much getting wrapped into the social media world. And then I put a quote down here that says, the way you perceive yourself is not how everyone else perceives you. I think the internal dialogue I have right now is extremely self-centered because I'm only focusing on how I'm being presented to people, how I'm looking, how I'm feeling, and I'm just so focused on my world. I need to like stop that and focus more on like the situation and the people around me, because the reason why I think I'm so in my head sometimes is because I'm just so focused on myself, and it's like no one is thinking that way. Like they're only thinking about probably themselves. And I think if I focus more on, you know, the other people in the room and really genuinely trying to get to know them and turning the interest off of myself, I won't be in my head as much. I am going to go change my battery. It's dying. Hold on. Okay. Now, external goals. I really want to focus on cooking. I need to learn how to cook. So I have a goal to cook a meal once a week. I also want to join a yoga studio. I used to do yoga all the time. Yoga is such a like deep personal experience. It's like a workout, yes, but it's also super spiritual. It's also very like in tune with your body. I just think there's so many benefits in yoga that I want to get really back into it. And then I also want to host something once a month. I feel like I have people over sometimes, but I need to like learn how to like create an ambiance. Like I'm good with actually an ambiance, but I'm not good with entertainment parts. So like I need to learn how to like make some cute drinks, like get nice dishware that I can bring out, and like cheese boards, and like just entertain a little bit better, because I have people over and I just create like a great vibe. But then it's like I just haven't really dove into like hosting. And there's a girl named Morgan Yates on YouTube too who like does amazing. She's insane though. I'm gonna host something once a month, like something a little bit smaller, and just entertainment, and just create fun like around like a vibe. And then I want to focus on my health. You guys know I've been struggling with like, I think it's like an autoimmune thing. I get my results on the 10th, which is exciting. I'm nervous too at the same time, but I'm really focusing on like my diet, the supplements I'm taking, working out, the medicines I'm taking, and like more of a holistic approach. I also want to do my Bible study, which I just got. It's called the Sunday Bible Study. It's like something I'm really excited to actually start. And then I want to focus on my physical appearance. So I read a quote that said, treat your body like a new car that you love to take care of. I think when you feel your best, you are your best self, you present yourself in a better way. It's not in a superficial way, but I do want to focus on being my best self to feel my best self. And I also put less cursing. I curse a lot. I feel like, I don't know, I think it's a great way to like express yourself, but I feel like I'm just like a sailor. Is that what they call it? Like when you just curse a lot? And it's just like so unclassy. I don't know. It's not like very feminine. So I just want to like find better words to express myself. And that is my New Year's resolutions. I feel like they're pretty good. So like I said, I'm going to watch church here in like 20 minutes and just kind of do some spiritual stuff and see where the day takes us. I'm going to get my nails done too. My nails like fell off this morning. I'm missing a thumb. It's like the gel, like it just peeled off. So we'll figure it out.
So I was up in, on Christmas break, I was up in our Toyota Sienna. You know you ballin' when you in a Toyota Sienna. When you can hit the button and the door's open, ball out. A year has highs and lows. A year has good times and bad times.
All right, I just finished watching church. I know that some people don't like the religious tone, so if you do want to skip this little portion, I will pop a little timestamp right here and you can skip through, but I'm just gonna make this quick. This was like weirdly, literally aligned with just what we talked about this morning. Like sometimes I watch church and I'm just like, how is it so perfectly like necessary to my life right now? Like it actually kind of scares me sometimes, but it actually wasn't Stephen Furtick, which I get a little disappointed with sometimes because I just love the Furticks. But I really liked this pastor. I'll figure out what his name is and I'll pop him on the screen. He's actually very funny. He's actually really funny. And he talked a lot about like mindset and stuff, which is like something I personally love that pastors talk about nowadays. It was just the perfect New Year's sermon, in my opinion. I think it was amazing. Even if you don't watch church or you're not religious at all, it's, I think, a really good sermon. The whole sermon was about trust and faith and like confidence, which was exactly what we were just talking about. Gratitude and trusting in, you know, just life and God. And he said that God knows the plan. Like, he has a plan for you. Everyone has a purpose here on life, and you don't necessarily need to stress so much about the plan because it's already made, you know, like that you're here for something. And I think it's important to plan. Like, I love planning and prepping and all that stuff, but it's also good to know and just kind of have in the back of your mind that you can trust and have faith and confidence in your life journey, you know, like it's going to be good. And that's something that I learned from just having faith in general these past few years, is just realizing that I get so overwhelmed and stressed when I'm not aligned with church. I realize, like, even just watching this, I feel instantly like just always so much better. He said to go to God and not yourself. So that's another thing that I feel like I always try so hard to like do things on my own. And in any sort of like spirituality, I think it's so important to have some sort of higher being or like trust in something bigger than you, because you have that force and that source to like put your fears and doubts into. And he was talking also about our mindsets and like how we have so many thoughts throughout the day and a lot of them are negative. He said the mind remembers fears and failures over successes, and that's again something I just talked about. And he even threw out like a stat, and I looked it up. It says, according to the research conducted by the National Science Foundation, around 80% of our thoughts are negative, and we have around 12,000, 50,000 thoughts a day. And that's so bad. Even if we take as much as we can and just like filter through all of that and put as much positivity and, you know, good positive thoughts in there, which I think can stem from working on trust, faith, confidence, and gratitude. Like, the more we filter through that, the more our mindset shifts and changes. And even when, like, the whole reason I got into the law of attraction back in the day was because I just started thinking more positively, and I just saw my life like have more ease, and like I was happier, and I just saw better things. Like, I was just like on a freaking high. This just clarified everything that we just talked about, of wanting to just focus on the good and the positive and just trusting in the process and just allowing it to happen, and really trying hard to focus on internal dialogue and the way I perceive the world, because it is going to do wonders. I just feel it. I know it. I'm so happy that I have this mindset right now, because I feel like going into the new year, it's going to be like life changing. And he had said another quote. He's like, I'm not there yet, but I'm not where I was, which is like insane, because like we always progress. We always have new goals and stuff. And if there's something that you are trying to attain or you're trying to get, which I think a lot of us are in that mindset at the beginning of the year, because we have these big goals or like, you know, ideas that we want to create for ourselves, and it can be a little bit frustrating if you're not quite there yet, especially when you're working on something internal, because that is hard. Like, external goals are great, but when you're working on like yourself, you're gonna fall back and you're gonna go forward, you're gonna fall back, you're gonna go forward, you're gonna like fall even deeper, and like you might get frustrated. It's a very frustrating thing when you're working on a character flaw that you have. So if you think about it in terms of that, where you're like falling back, or you're kind of like falling into your own ways, it can be so discouraging, and again create negative thoughts, and then you can spiral, and then it's just like it's the whole thing. And instead of focusing on like the failures or the bad things in your thoughts, if you just focus on the good and where we're going and where we have come from, it's just such a powerful mind trick. I love that quote. I'm not there yet, but I'm not where I was. And I thought that was just a really good sermon. I really enjoyed it. Again, I'll pop it down below if you're interested. He was a really great pastor. I was pleasantly surprised. All right, guys, just got back from the nail salon. I did something completely different than I'm used to. These are actually acrylic. I've had acrylic before, but this is like, I guess, called almond shaped nails. I typically am more of like a square nail kind of person, but I don't know, I feel like this like makes my fingers look really good, because I have like really long, thin, like skeletal kind of hands. So I don't know, I feel like I really like them. And then I got like this pink color, and I made myself another coffee. Well, actually it's my first coffee. Is it? No, I had warm coffee this morning, so it was cold, but now I made a nice coffee. Now I'm gonna go through my kitchen and do a nutritional declutter, if you will, because I am now following a more paleo-based diet plan, and it's not a diet. Again, I feel like the need that I always have to explain this. I'm not doing it for diet purposes. I'm not a big believer in diets. I'm just eating more paleo when I'm home, especially. It's not too strict, but just for health reasons, again, autoimmune stuff, that it just like works best with my body. So I'm gonna go through all of my pantry and stuff and just get rid of all the junk food that I have or things that have been in there for too long. And then I wanna go through some of my clothes and declutter those, because I don't know, I always do this at the beginning of the year. It just feels better, like going through all my stuff and kind of just getting rid of things that I don't need. The question that I ask myself for clothes is, does it make me feel good? You know, like if it's too tight, if they're too big, if they're like older and I never wear them, like I'll just get rid of it. I'll donate or something. Let's hop on it. I'm gonna put on some music and we shall declutter. Alright guys, it is now 7:15. I'm actually finishing up this video and I feel like I had a very productive day. I like went through my resolutions, like implemented some of the goals I already have for myself, and just like it was a very big reflecting day. And I think what I'm gonna do is like every morning read through the intentions that I had set up for myself, because I want to like keep them in my mind. So I actually also got like new journals and stuff that I want to show you. I think actually all of them are from Target. But this one is so cute. I mean, like giraffes, whatever. But I like journals that like fold in half, like, and this one has such a bendable like bind. So this one's gonna be like my journaling one. So I put like 2020 here. Sorry, oh my God, we are out of that year. 2022. I have like the journaling stuff that I did this morning, put some of the church notes, and I'm just gonna put all the like journaling stuff that I wanna journal out to this year in here. And then I also have this is more of like a work journal. It's a 5-star one. It's just like gold, and I'm gonna link all these down below, but this is more for just like to-do lists and just like brain dumps. I think I have one every year pretty much, and I'll just keep track of them. I'll put them in like my memory box, so like one day I'll look back and be like, oh my God, my to-do list back then and stuff like that. And then I found this. It's like a little post-it to-do with different colors. And so I just put my main priorities in here, like the things that you don't really want to do but you kind of like need to do. And then I found this. It's like a daily note tracking pad, and it's by time. And then I also found this one is a weekly one. So I like to have my layout for the week just like at the forefront, so I can just remember things that are going on this week and stuff, which I already planned my week today, planned a little bit of tomorrow on my daily. And those are my new little journaling stuff. I think that's it. Yeah, that's good. So I was like, we have to read something, but that was Vlogmas. We're not reading. I'm going to vlog tomorrow, and it's going to be like the first Monday of the year vlog, and then we're going to do a week of my life. It's just going to be like lots of vlogs still. I don't know, I'm excited for the content that we have coming up. Again, if you guys didn't watch the New Year reading list, my videos are going to be up Monday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time going forward. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year. Bye.
I found somebody. I say you don't cross my mind.